So as everyone knows, Meghan Markle did an interview with Oprah and Prince Harry joined her as well, but it was mostly a Meghan Markle interview. Before I get into my specific thoughts about the interview, let's go over what actually happened in the interview, just a short summary. Meghan Markle claimed that she barely knew about the royals and Prince Harry. She was oblivious to it all. She just thought that they were just celebrities. She didn't understand about British royalty or any of that kind of stuff. And Meghan had to set the record straight by saying that she didn't make Kate cry during the wedding. It was Kate, actually, who made her cry and later apologized to her in a letter. Then they quickly went over, the double standard between Kate and her, Kate being the wife of Prince William. They talked about how Kate was, when she grabbed her baby bump and ate avocados, it was great and good. Yet when Meghan did the same, she was bad and she was a villain because when she grabbed her baby bump, she was doing it for attention, not to be nurturing. And when she ate avocados, they wrote stories about environmental issues and whatnot. Most notably, Meghan says that she was silenced. She believed the royals were protecting her, but they were not protecting her. They lied. And the royals are a family business. The Queen is nice, but the rest of the royals, or the people who work for the royals, or the apparatus of the royals, they're not so nice and not so protective. Meghan wasn't allowed to have lunch with her friends if she wanted to. Then she talked about the South Africa interview when she said that no one had really asked her how she feels. She said that she was exhausted at that time and wanted help from the royals, but they didn't give her that help, and they would negate stories for other royals, but not for her. Also, they didn't want her baby to be a prince or princess, and wouldn't give the new child, in this case, Archie, they wouldn't give him any security. It was at that point that she also mentioned that someone in the royal family had raised the question about Archie's or their baby's skin color, what it would be like and what it would look like, and the ramifications of that. So indirectly, she was saying that they didn't want to give the baby a title and security because of the possible racial issue, I guess. All of this, of course, led her to not seeing a solution to the problems she was facing with the royal family, and she just wanted to die. She basically said that she was suicidal for a period of time, and she told her husband, Prince Harry, but the royals told her that she couldn't get help because it wouldn't look good. So she had to keep it under wraps and just deal with it on her own. Meghan said that she can't remain silent if the royal apparatus keeps perpetrating lies about her and Prince Harry. Then she said something to the effect that she lost her baby, father, and identity. And by baby, she was talking about her miscarriage. I'm not sure how the royals would be responsible for that. Her father, I'm not exactly sure how the royals would be responsible for that either, because her father was the one who did paid interviews with tabloids, and she seemed to have her own direct issues with him. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry divulged that their new child that she's pregnant with is a girl. The couple said that they first chose Canada so that they could do things for the Queen, since Canada is part of the Commonwealth. But then at some point the royals cut off their security because of a change in their royal status, at which point they moved to Tyler Perry's house because they could use his facilities and his security. They didn't have money or something like that, and he was able to help them in the interim. Then they talked a little bit about stepping down as working senior royals, aka Megxit. They claimed that they asked for help, but they didn't get any help. They asked to be a different kind of royal, less than senior, but I guess that didn't really go anywhere. And they kept hitting on the lack of support and lack of understanding that they received. Prince Harry claimed that he did not blindside the Queen. He guesses that that sentiment was put out by the institution. Prince Harry also claims that he gave the specifics of what they were going to do to his father, but communication with his father broke down, and at some point he said that his father, Prince Charles, stopped taking his calls. Prince Harry also said that he was ashamed to admit to his family that Meghan needed mental help over the race element. He also said that when Parliament supported him and Meghan over the colonial-style headlines, it hurt that his family didn't do the same. Prince Harry also admitted that the royal family is very scared of the press and cater to the press in a certain way. They're constantly aware of them. Every move that they make is in relation to the press, basically. Harry also threw in that there was a lot of jealousy after how well Meghan did in their Australian tour. Prince Harry said that he would not have stepped back from his royal duties if not for Meghan. He learned how trapped he was due to Meghan, and his father and brother are trapped and they're not able to leave, and therefore I guess he feels sorry for them or something to that effect. Prince Harry's family cut him off financially before they made all the deals. He said he maintains a good relationship with the Queen, bad relationship with his father, and that he loves his brother, but they are on different paths and there's a lot of space between them. In terms of the whole race issue, Prince Harry said that he was asked about what his kids would look like, but he would not give the details of that conversation. He wouldn't mention who he had that conversation with. They also said that they would have stayed, but they were not given enough support, and that Meghan Markle regrets believing that she would be protected by the royal family. So basically, this interview was a big letdown to me because I was expecting something kind of spicy, something kind of juicy. I don't think there was anything particularly spicy or juicy in that. Everything that they said was very predictable and something that pretty much everyone already knew anyways. It's commonly understood that the royals are very, very concerned with appearances. That's pretty much all that they are. They're there for appearances. They don't actually have any vital function in the government of the United Kingdom. They're figureheads, they're symbols. And as such, even in terms of all the racial stuff or like people not being able to be individuals, to me, that seems like it's part and parcel with the royal family. It's like if you married into a Quaker family and then after the fact, you're concerned about the fact that you don't have electricity or whatever the case may be. It's like that's what you're getting into. And going back to what Meghan said, I just don't find it very credible that she had no idea what she was getting into. Because even when she was getting to know Prince Harry, or especially in the process of dating him, it was pretty obvious what she was getting into. Even if she says or claims that she had no idea about any of that stuff beforehand, at least during the period where they were dating, I'm sure she understood all of that. It's not like she just randomly selected Harry. Like, instead of Prince Harry, he could have been Janitor Harry or Electrician Harry. She knew that he was the Prince of England. She knew that he was part of the royal family, and she knew that he had security, and there was lots of paparazzi. Almost instantaneously, they're writing all these stories about it. So she was very, very aware of what she was getting into. And anyone who even gets a little idea about the royal family knows that they're very private, and once you join them, there's a lot of things you have to follow, and you have to be private, and it's very, it's definitely not something that anyone in the modern world would necessarily want to be a part of without maybe some of the pros that go along with it, right? The pros being the financial, all of the wealth, all of the prestige, all of the fame. But then, of course, on the flip side, the cons are you don't get to be an individual. Everything you're doing is scrutinized, and you have to kind of follow this traditional path that, seems kind of idiotic. So this situation seems to me to be mostly Meghan Markle having issues, her not being able to stand out, her not being able to fall in line with what was going on over there, and then her having lots of outbursts and wanting this, that, and the other, and no one was really complying with that. In terms of the racial issues or the press writing things that were racially related or colonial headlines or whatever they were saying at that point. I'm not really sure what the royal family could have done about that. Now, she keeps claiming that they didn't protect her, they didn't do X, Y, and Z. The paparazzi over there basically destroys everyone in their family anyway. So I really don't know what they could have done for her. And perhaps they could have done something for her more than what they did. But at the same time, there's no way in hell that they were going to be stopping those headlines. They don't have the power to stop those headlines. If they had the power to stop headlines, they would be stopping all different kinds of headlines, like the Prince Andrew headlines, a bazillion different headlines. They're not in control of that ship. They try to make nice with the press and kiss their ass in various ways. It really doesn't work out completely, because if there's any kind of juicy story, it's coming out there. And of course, when you include someone like Meghan Markle, who's not even from over there, and she's totally different from everyone in the royal family, of course they're going to talk about it. So I think this is a situation of an actress that took control of Prince Harry, and Prince Harry was in a situation where, like, what can he really do? He even noted during the interview that there would be times when he's coming back from various engagements and he sees his wife breastfeeding and at the same time crying and saying that she wants to kill herself and whatnot. So, of course, like, he bailed out of the situation because he's trying to keep her happy. And this is a lot of mud on the royal family's face. Now, do I necessarily care about the royal family? No, I think the whole thing is full of shit. I think they're symbolic of something very bad. I think they're symbolic of oppression all across the globe. So that's why it's just funny to me when it's like, oh, could they possibly be racist? Or, oh, could they possibly be this and that? Like, these are all known facts about them. It's not like some glorious organization, some glorious group that you're joining. And in general, I think a monarchy is a disgusting thing. You know, just by his birthright, Harry is a prince, so therefore he's supposed to be better than other people, or he's supposed to be a role model for people, or the Queen or Prince Charles or anybody for that matter. It's just an absolute farce to me. And their whole family, the institution of the British Crown, their history is packed with all kinds of atrocities on people all across the globe. So I think to look at them and to have any sort of positive idea about them is ludicrous. So if you want to come out with an interview that's this kind of a tell-all, I don't think that's really exposing anything that people didn't already know. So you joined a bullshit family and a bullshit situation, and you didn't play by their bullshit rules. And, you know, what do you want in the end of the day? And I think the biggest thing, the most tone-deaf thing about this interview is all the sympathy that they're trying to gather. Meghan Markle acting really fake. She just comes across really fake. And you want all this sympathy for what? Because you joined a royal family and your individualism was a bit stifled? Why don't you take a look at the entire world, all the people that are starving, all the people who have diseases, all the people who are having bombs dropped on their fucking heads, you know? And then you want to sit on TV and do a 2-hour interview and gain sympathy over what? It's just absolutely insane. In the aftermath of all of this, of course, Oprah also retained some other interview segments, where Meghan is talking about her half-sister and her father and various other things. A little bit of that came out today. Who knows what else is going to come out in the future. Meghan claims that, you know, she never had a relationship with her half-sister, and that the last time she saw her half-sister was like 19 years ago, and before that it was like 10 years. So, like, she barely ever saw her. However, today her half-sister just posted a picture that was taken of both of them together in 2009, so right away that kind of goes against the 19 years. Meghan Markle's half-sister also said that Meghan had extensively studied the UK monarchy. I'm not sure why she did that or how her half-sister would know about that, but that's what she's claiming. She's also claiming a bunch of other things related to how Meghan has engaged with their father. The end result is that Meghan Markle ends up looking worse, Prince Harry ends up looking worse, the royal family ends up looking worse. There was really no point for any of this.